Hello everyone, I'm Chris, and welcome to my Dark Souls Achievement Guide. In this series, I'll be going over how to get every single achievement in Dark Souls and Dark Souls Remastered. But before we start, there are some things I want to go over. First off, I won't be going over every single mechanic in the game in detail. In this first episode, I'll be mentioning some basic controls and settings, but if you haven't played the game before, or you feel that you need more info, I recommend going and watching a Dark Souls starter guide video. I personally recommend going and watching Silvermont's starter guide video, which I'll link in the description. He made a very informative video and just makes great content all around, so make sure you go check him out. Now, that video he made was back in 2016, which was about 2 years before the remaster came out. That being said, not much was changed between the original and the remaster, so his video, as well as the series, should work for both, with some minor differences that I'll mention throughout the series. Next, I want to talk about some of the achievements. Minor spoilers in this section, so I have timestamps in the description of the video for those of you who want to skip it, but then why are you even watching this series if you're worried about spoilers? It doesn't really make sense. But anyways, to complete the game, you'll need to go through 2 full playthroughs and a partial third playthrough, but luckily each playthrough can be done on the same character by entering New Game Plus, so that's good. No starting from the beginning or anything. But I do want to talk about some of the covenants of the game. There are 9 covenants in the game that you'll need to find. Those are going to be White, Sunlight, Chaos, Forest, Princess Guard, Dragon, Gravelord, Dark Moon, and Dark Wraith, each with its own achievement tied to it. You don't need to join the covenants to unlock their achievements, but some of the covenants will offer you items that you'll need for other achievements. But yeah, those are the covenants. I do also want to talk about some of the crafting in the game. Now, there's not really crafting in the game, but you can upgrade your weapons down different upgrade paths, those being Standard, Raw, Divine, Occult, Lightning, Fire, Chaos, Magic, Enchanted, and Crystal. You'll need to upgrade a weapon all the way down each path for a total of 10 achievements, 1 achievement for each path. And there are some specific materials and tools that you'll need in order to do that. That I'll mention throughout the series. Other than that, I finally want to talk about collectible achievements. Now, it's not really collectibles. I mean, they're kind of collectibles, not really. There's 4 achievements tied to collecting things, in which you'll need to collect every single rare weapon and every single spell in the game. For the weapons, some will be picked up in random locations, some are dropped from enemies, and some are crafted. The ones that are crafted will require items called boss souls that are dropped from bosses. So when you get a boss soul, make sure you do not use it. These can only be obtained once per playthrough, so do not use any of the boss souls unless you're using it to craft one of the weapons. As for the spells, there are 3 types. There's sorceries, pyromancies, and miracles. Unlike the rare weapons, most spells are bought from merchants, but some will be in other places, like the rare weapons. But once you've collected all of one type of spell, for example, if you collect all the miracles, you'll get an achievement. You collect all the pyromancies, you get another achievement, and all the sorceries, another one. So that's a total of 4 achievements tied to collecting stuff. Other than that, most of the achievements are pretty self-explanatory or are obtained just by playing through the game. Next, I want to point out that I will be playing in offline mode for the guide. To do that, you need to go to the main menu and scroll down and click Log Out. This will start the game in offline mode, and once you've done that, scroll up to System and go down to Network Settings and make sure you change launch setting to Start Offline, so you won't have to log out each time you start the game up. The reason I'm doing this is so that I don't get invaded by other players while I'm trying to make the guide. Unfortunately, that means I also can't summon help from other players, nor can I see other players' messages or interact with anything online related or multiplayer related. I am going to be playing solo, but if you did want to play with your friend, just make sure you're online, your settings are all correct, and if you're playing on the remaster, make sure you and your friend set the same password so that you can find each other easier. That can be set to whatever you want, just make sure that you have the same password, you and your friend. And yeah, that's about everything I wanted to talk about, so without further ado, make sure you start as a cleric with a master key, and let's get into the guide. Alright, here we are, ready to start the game. Pretty easy solution. Just pick up this key right here and open the gate. And as soon as you open that, you'll see these messages here. This is what it looks like when players leave messages. These ones specifically aren't from players. They're actually left there by the developers, just to give you the controls and stuff. You don't have to kill these guys. They're just there to practice the controls and stuff. But yeah, those messages are what looks like when players leave messages. Of course, you won't see any unless you're playing online. But those tell you the controls. The controls are pretty easy. You don't really... They're not super complex. Usually, the general rule is that the right bumper and trigger control the right arm, and the left bumper and trigger control the left arm. So yeah, just know that and you'll be golden. Here, as soon as you come up here, light this bonfire and rest at it, and that'll be a checkpoint for you. Now when you die, you'll respawn at the bonfire. But not only that, you get your first achievement. So, congrats on your first achievement. Pretty easy one. As soon as you do that, go and open this gate right here. And there's going to be a message there. It says like get away or something. There's going to be a boss that drops down. But you don't want to fight him yet, so just go run into here and the gate closes behind you. Yeah, you don't want to fight him yet because you've got no weapon. I mean, you have the hilt of a sword. So if you want to try, go ahead, but I wouldn't recommend it. Here you're gonna want to get your shield here. Just walk in this room so you're protected, so you can equip it. And you're gonna want to equip it here. This is gonna be your left hand. So yeah, like I said, it's left bumper to block. So like I said, left bumper and trigger would control your left hand. And go ahead and run up this way, and with your shield up, so he doesn't hit you at all. And right here will be your weapon, so go ahead and equip that. I would swap it out for the broken sword. There's no reason to have that equipped at all. And then that message just shows that the directional pad swaps the items you have equipped and stuff. So run up here and kill him, and then go ahead and walk through the fog wall. And there's going to be a message here that shows you how to roll and backstep. Now if you press B while moving, you'll do a roll. Whereas if you press it while standing still, you do like a backstep. And rolling is important because it'll let you get out of the way of stuff. So if you come up here, roll out of the way. Yeah, I didn't roll, but you can roll out of the way. And the boulder, I don't really know what it is, some kind of ball thing, will come and break open the wall there. And you want to walk in there and come talk to this guy. Now, you don't have to listen to everything he says. You can skip through his dialogue. I don't know why I didn't here, but I would. If you're watching this guide and playing through, you don't really need to. But if you want to, you can. Press yes there. Tell him yes. And that's about the only thing you need to know is make sure you say yes. But yeah, here he's going to give you an Estus flask and a key, which will unlock our next achievement. And let us proceed forward. In a bit, we're going to get our talisman, which is going to let us use our heal spell. Heal miracle. So that's actually going to be number 1, our first miracle out of however many there are. I don't know at this very moment, but we already start with a miracle on the board. So you can see he gave us the Estus flask and he gave us the key, and that message right there popped up. So that message actually just shows us how to use the Estus. There's our achievement for getting the Estus flask. So if you walk out and then you'll hear like a sword slicing sound, you come back, you can see him die. There's no reason to do that. I just felt like showing you, I guess. Come up here and be ready because there's going to be an enemy up here. Pretty easy kill. Not too hard. Actually not hard at all. And then if you come down here, you can fall or you can walk around, doesn't matter. You can come open this gate now, and here's the bonfire we rested at last. And I wanted to show that you can heal, and then when you rest at the bonfire, it actually replenishes your Estus. So I had 5, I used 1, and then I had 4, and I rested at the bonfire, and I had 5 again. Bonfires also, when you rest at them, they respawn the enemies. As you can see, that guy came back. So you got to be careful of that stuff. You can press Y to two-hand your weapon, so I'll demonstrate that here. I'll come back to that other message later. This message just confirms what I was saying. And here's a little talisman, so now we can use our heal spell. Careful with these guys. They can kind of team up on you, so be careful with that. I don't know why I was trying to do heavy attacks against this guy. There's no need to do heavy attacks at all. But here I'm going to run back and read this message. Now this is a little confusing because it doesn't really specify what that means. You actually have to flick the stick in the direction that you want to do the move. So flick the stick and do a quick attack, and that'll be a kick. And then same thing with a heavy attack will be a jump attack. Now here, I didn't read the message, but there's a message on the floor that says you can do this, you can backstab enemies, and that'll be a critical hit. And that's basically, you want to practice that. If you're having a hard time, just make sure you're directly behind them, and you don't have your shield up. If you have your shield up, you won't be able to backstab. Just take note of that message, we'll come back to it in a second. This one just says same thing about backstabs. And then this one teaches you how to parry. Now here, this is where I would practice parrying on this guy. Parrying and riposting, I don't know, however you pronounce that word, is pretty vital to some of the areas in the game. So I would practice on that guy as much as you can. And then take note of that message about plunging attacks, because I'm going to try and explain this as best I can. So I'm kind of practicing my jumping attack. And you do want a two-hand with this before you go through this fog wall. And basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through the fog wall, I'm going to two-hand my weapon, and then I'm going to do a jumping attack, and as I'm falling, I'm going to press the quick attack button to do a plunging attack at the same time. And that's going to do a little bit extra damage on the boss here. And now it's pretty easy from here on out. Just stay behind him. You can pull your shield out if you want. No need though, as long as you stay behind him, you should be good. If he does like the flying up butt slam attack, just kind of move out of the way. Pretty easy boss, no problems with that guy whatsoever. Open up these doors and there's going to be a message here that says go straight, but if instead you go to the left here, you can pick up an item. And that just shows that there's a bunch of hidden stuff around this game. I'll try to show a lot of it. I won't be getting all of it though, but other than that, that's the end of this episode. And subscribe and tune into the next one.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen to leave the Undead Asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.